Hello, my name is Dr. Eric Starr from Team Healthcare Clinic, and this is Dr. Jay Birch joining me today. We want to talk to you a little bit today about some of the things that we do in the clinic for our patients that are struggling with brain fog, stress, and poor sleep. And at the end of this, we want to offer a free 30-minute consultation, again, free of charge. You typically holds a value of $140, but we want to offer this to those, maybe you or someone you know that are struggling with some of these things.
Yeah, one of the big things that we're seeing in the clinic is patients that are describing what we call brain fog. And that alone, I think a lot of patients already say, yeah, I have that. But in case you're wondering if you do, some of the things that will go with that is slower processing speed. So it just takes longer to be able to say something, or poor mental clarity, where you know that you should be able to do something that you're struggling with, or a heaviness in your brain. And a big thing that we see is fatigue, where they're tired during the day, the end of the morning or mid-afternoon are two really classic times that go with that. And there's reasons for it, and we've identified what that is.
Yeah, and truly, when we talk about brain fog, it directly correlates with brain inflammation. And so the brain doesn't experience pain in and of itself, and so the way that the brain really exhibits dysfunction and just poor kind of that not working very well is through brain fog. And so we might see this with a patient that has a hard time being productive at work or creative at work, or maybe even at home. They have a hard time getting themselves motivated to actually do something. And so this is what we'll often see and hear from patients that are struggling with that. And so at the clinic here, we got to do several things to address this. And so first we got to figure out, why is the brain fog and the brain inflammation there to begin with? Is this from a trauma? Do we have toxicities, deficiencies? Maybe stress is the big thing that's causing this. So that's the first thing that we have to figure out. Next, we have to take a look at how can we dampen and really kind of calm down the inflammation that is maybe going wild within the brain. And so we do this through supplements, through nutraceuticals to help with this that have been proven in research to be effective at reducing brain inflammation. And then there's other therapies that we utilize, such as brain-based rehab, neurofeedback, TMS. These are some of the things that we utilize within the clinic to help someone that is suffering with brain fog.
And it's been exciting. I posted earlier, if you haven't, there's maybe we can make an attachment, but we are seeing really great results with that. And before we do a lot of the things that we do in our clinic, pretty much everything, we try out on ourselves or with people that we know. And I know many of the providers anyway, said, let's do nutraceuticals to see how this would benefit us. And it was fun. I mean, just the increased clarity and energy and vitality of the brain that we all experienced, we just like, oh, we've got to pass this on to our patients. And we've had, people that are CEOs of companies or accountants and people that are, the company is relying on their mental clarity. And if they're off 10, 15, 20% of what they're capable of, there's consequences to not just them, but their whole company. And really enjoyable to see them come back and say, I was able to do things last week, or I'm doing things currently that I could not do before just because my brain was starting to fatigue and just going through this brain fog problem. So exciting stuff. I would really invite you, if you're suffering any of those things, to let us know, because there's great things to do. But another thing is stress. And it seems like everybody has stress. And there's three types. There's physical stress, the traumas that people experience, big and small, like sitting, in one spot is a trauma, a physical trauma. The chemical traumas of the way we eat, the medication side effects, toxicities, and then there's just emotional trauma, and it's the feeling of always being busy, and the stress on people's body has significant consequences to their health. And I don't think everybody realizes. Sometimes it's like, well, I just got to be tougher and tougher, but what we see then is sleep starts to become affected, and then fatigue starts to set in, and then their memories decline, and then it even leads to things like joint pain and anxieties and depression. So the consequences are significant,
Yeah.
and we've got solutions for that.
Absolutely. So certainly we take a look at this from a neurological and brain-based perspective, where a lot of times we're seeing patients that are coming in with high stress lives, anxiety, as you mentioned, as a result of that. And sometimes we got to take a look at how's their brain functioning. And a lot of times we'll see brains that are just way overactive, and they're just kind of, they're going way too much. And we got to work at calming that brain down so it can function the way it's supposed to. From a chemical or chemistry standpoint, we are often looking at someone's adrenal function, and through that, what we call someone's circadian rhythm. And so you maybe heard that term before. There's two main hormones that we often will take a look at with this. First being melatonin, which is often thought of as your sleep hormone.
Yeah.
And so you want melatonin to be high at night to help you go to sleep. And the inverse relationship with melatonin is what's called cortisol, and cortisol is your stress hormone. And so you want this to be high in the morning to get you up in the morning, but you want that to slowly become less and less during the day, so that at nighttime your melatonin's high, your cortisol's low, so you can fall asleep. And I can't tell you the number of patients that we see when we test this that their cortisol levels are high throughout the day due to their high stress lives,
Yes.
or they might be low in the morning and they have a hard time getting up. And so we got to test this, we got to take a look at that so we can know how to best treat that. And so that's one example of a test we look at. We do blood chemistry testing,
Yeah.
food sensitivity testing.
EEG testing, which will show electrical activity in the brain, and
Yeah.
we'll see in these individuals their brain is it's firing way too much, and they just can't quiet it. They can't shut it down.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that we evaluate this, and we kind of use the phrase around here in the clinic that we don't want to guess when it comes to someone's health. We want to have the right testing in place so that we know how to best help them going forward. And so these are some of the things that we do to help with stress and poor sleep.
That's right. You know, just to kind of complete this then, we would invite anybody who is feeling any decline in how their brain is working, whether it be brain fog or they're feeling the effects of stress and sleep or memory, to come to the clinic for a consultation. We would like to just offer to any of you who are suffering with brain fog or sleep issues or memory problems or just under stress and want to be assessed. It's a consultation. It's 30 minutes with Dr. Starr. The normal value for that is $140. But in order to meet with him and just share your story so we can know more about you, there won't be a fee. And so we'd really like to have you schedule. The number is 763-323-1492, and we look forward to seeing you.